Welcome to Sola Content Co, where truth, grit, and purpose collide. This isn't just another faith-based podcast filled with fluff or feel-good motivation. Here we dive deep into scripture, real-life challenges, and the kind of faith that shapes who we are and how we live. At Sola Content Co, we believe in a faith built on an unshakable foundation, rooted in the 5 solas of the Reformation. Scripture alone, through Christ alone, by grace alone, in faith alone, and to the glory of God alone. These aren't just theological concepts. They're a call to live with conviction and purpose. Every episode, we unpack biblical truth, leadership insights, and real stories of resilience, all designed to challenge, encourage, and equip you to walk boldly in your calling. So if you're ready to move beyond surface level faith and step into something deeper, step into a purpose-filled life, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Today we're in part 2 of our Job series, Crying Out in the Dark, covering Job chapter 3 to Job chapter 14. See, sometimes life can feel like a night that won't quit. Shadows of doubt creeping in, pain that digs deep, and the silence from God that lands heavier than the hurt itself. Job gets that. He's a man who had it all: wealth, family, and favor. Now reduced to ashes, grappling with loss that would crush anyone and everyone. But what stops me cold isn't just his suffering. It's how he lets it rip, unfiltered, right at God. This is a lament with backbone. It's got teeth for us when our own darkness lingers. Think about it. When was the last time you felt swallowed by the night? Job's not just a story. He's a mirror, showing us what it looks like to cry out when the walls start to close in around us. Job comes out swinging in chapter 3. He curses the day he was born. Let it perish, he says in Job 3, verse 3. Like he'd claw it out of history if he had the ability to do that. And by chapters 6 and 7, he's drowning deeper, asking, why me? What's man that you even bother with him? Job says in Job 7, verse 17. These aren't tidy questions. They're gut-wrenching, jagged cries from a man who has nothing left to polish up. He's not some plaster saint. He's us. He's you and me, broken up by life's fists. You catch the same vibe in Psalm 13, David groaning, how long, O Lord, you forgetting me forever? Psalm 13, verses 1 and 2. That's not weakness. That's faith. Staring down the dark and refusing to blink. Scripture is full of this. Real people, real pain, and real cries. Job's just the loudest of them all. But Job doesn't just sit there. He turns it all on God. Bold as brass, he demands answers. Am I some sea monster you've got chained up? He snaps in Job 7, verse 12. And then by chapter 13 and 14, he's begging for a hearing. Though he slay me, I will hope in him, yet I will argue my ways to his face, he says in chapter 13, verse 15. That's not defiance. It's faith stripped raw, fighting to be heard. He's banking on God being there, even when the silence screams louder than the pain that he is experiencing. When you fast forward to Job 42, God doesn't hand him a neat why. He shows up, reveals himself, and Job is floored. Now my eyes see you, Job says in Job 42, verse 5. And we're going to unpack that even more in a later podcast. Sometimes that's the deal. Not an explanation, but the one who holds it all. Jesus doubles down on this in Luke chapter 18 with that widow who won't quit pounding on the judge's door. pray always. Don't give up, he says in Luke 18, verse 1. Job's got that same fire, stubborn, fierce, clinging to hope in the dark. This hit me really hard lately. An opportunity dropped. A fresh shot, a new path. I had been grinding, praying, waiting for something in my life to shift. And it felt, honestly, like a lifeline. But as I stepped forward, my past crashed in like a damp fog. There were failures I could still feel. Like when I had put my heart, soul, blood, sweat, and tears into something and it dropped out from underneath me. Regrets muttering in my ear from choices I can't unmake. Times I had trusted the wrong people. Wounds I'd carried to God for healing only to watch the world pry them back open with a casual shrug. And you know what? It felt suffocating for me to go through this again. I stood at a fork. I could let bitterness root down or I could cry out. And I chose the second. I dumped my frustration, the fog that I was feeling, all of my mess into prayer. God didn't snap his fingers and fix it. There was no instant rescue. There was no Hollywood ending. But he met me. A peace I didn't earn settled in. A clarity that sliced through the haze that I was experiencing. The past didn't vanish. And I still carry some of those scars. But it pointed me to the one who will walk me through it. Step by bruised step. And that's what Job's wrestling for too. Not just answers, but the presence of God. So what's the takeaway in this? What's the takeaway in these heartfelt cry out chapters? Well, Job's handing you and I a lifeline. He's saying that it's okay to cry out when it stings. I think we're wired to fake it sometimes. I think we're wired to just walk into church and give pleasantries and act like everything is okay. We slap on a grin. We act like faith means that we're never cracking under the pressure of life or cracking under the pressure of circumstances that we're facing. But you know what Job does? He says, nah, faith isn't like that. You need to let it all spill out. Your tears, your whys, those sleepless nights, all of it. God isn't rattled by them at all. He wants you to let them pour out to him. Lamentations 2:19 backs him up in this. It says, arise, cry out in the night, pour out your hearts like water before the Lord. Bring that mess. He hears, he stays, even when the night seems to drag on for an eternity. So I want you to try this. The next time that dark season hits, the next time that those dark moments start to come into your life, don't bottle it up. Grab a quiet corner, a pen, or just your voice and spill it out in its rawest form to God. No filter, no fake pleasantries, no platitudes. Spill it out as raw as you possibly can to God. He's not waiting for you to clean everything up first. Job didn't. And you know what? He found God on the other side. Here's the gospel truth of this. Jesus knows this dark. On that cross, he howled, my God, why have you forsaken me? He didn't just cry out, he carried it. Isaiah 53 verses 4 through 6 say this. He bore our griefs, carried our sorrows, pierced for our transgressions. With his wounds, we are healed. Our mess landed on him. Every jagged edge, every silent ache. Why? So that we can run to God with no hesitation and no shame. Hebrews 4 verses 15 and 16 seal this. It says, we don't have a high priest who can't feel our weaknesses. He's been there. He's suffered like us, sinless still. Draw near to the throne of grace, it says. Grab mercy. Find help when you are entirely and completely spent. His scars mean our cries don't echo into nothing. They're caught, they're held, and they're redeemed. Dawn's breaking, even when the night feels like it's about to swallow you whole. That's the promise that Job couldn't see, but we are so blessed to be able to. So, if you're crying out in the dark, don't choke it down. Bring it to God. He can handle it. He'll meet you there with love that will not let you go. It will never release you. This is Sola Content Co. I'm Dylan Kimmel. Next time we'll tackle Job's silence and the friends who really swing and miss. Until then, subscribe, keep fighting, and let's chase truth together.